welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Ben.
Right.
This is a new idea for a live stream, Ben. I'm going to be talking about power. You know, it doesn't matter who you are, where you live, power is an issue, isn't it, Ben?
Definitely. It's only getting we're using more of it all the time.
Yeah. Well, let me first just introduce you, Ben. I know a lot of people around Mijas and the Costa know you already. Here, you're an electrician and you do all kinds of things, I guess, from changing a plug to major installations. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So we do a range of services on the coast, but I myself I do. I've done a range of stuff here. I'm now more into the energy market and watching how that's moving and how we can all do our bit to try and reduce the cost of electric for us all and look what we're going to do to plan the future.
Yeah, and Ben, I think it's fair to say, although you're doing very practical things down here, as I say, electrical installations, your background also what was in a sort of other world as well, wasn't it? I mean, you were working on the big scales in the UK, yeah?
Yes, definitely for a lot of the DNOs, which is the district networks, which is a bit like over here. And then for Eon, Western Power. So I worked for the big world companies, and it was great. I loved it. Loved it. I've got a lot of experience in the distribution side of how electric works, and that really falls in with the energy market and how that how it all works out and how it's distributed and where the costs are.
Yeah, and I see certainly on a weekly basis, Ben, people asking about changing suppliers and what's the best company to be with, but I think it just highlights the concerns that people have about the cost of their we're going to say electricity for the moment. I don't know what's happening with gas, but gas is not, I think, maybe quite the biggest thing down here, is it?
No, but we're big consumers of
Uh,
electric down here especially down on the coast and a bit inland.
yeah.
Um, we don't have a solid main gas network like places in the UK have. So electric
Yeah.
powers most of the properties.
Yeah. So Ben, what has been happening in the supply of electricity? I'm going to say over the last 6 months because I think that's when it's become particularly bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the change in the time power usage that we've been using, with a lot of us changing our working habits and businesses having to change. It's a sort of supply and demand issue. We wasn't geared up when the peak power was needed, and how to produce. There will be to a green energy transition mode, but the problem with that is that at peak times we need to use electric when we need it, and to do that we need to use the fossil fuels. The problem with that is the cost has risen tremendously.
Yeah.
Where the costs keep rising, not to go fuels, but the cost of the network, the actual delivering it to your door, the cost of the energy supplies is still going to be there.
Yeah. Just to let people see, this is what you're talking about. The idea that there are different costs now. The Horas Valle is the off peak, which is between midnight and 8 in the morning, and all weekends. The Horas Punta are the peak hours, so really between 10 and 2 and between 6 and 10 at night. And then you've got these other times, which are, I guess, a sort of middle rate. And I think this is where people seem to be, I think feeling it because we got used to. Oh, I've lost Ben. He disappeared. Um, but yeah, these are the different things that we're looking at. That there are different costs depending on what time you're actually using your power. Um, okay, I'm going to. I've I've lost Ben for the moment. Um, so what he's saying is that the prices have gone through the roof. He's come back. Hi Ben,
Ollie
I
Bill
lost
sort of
you there.
dropped out there.
I, I was just showing people the different times that relate to different amounts for electricity, and obviously the cheap one is between midnight and 8 in the morning, and then at the weekends it's on this sort of off peak
Yeah,
this low rate. But there's quite a big difference, isn't there, between this and I'll just put it back on the screen there. There's quite a difference between the off peak, the horas valle, the valley, the off peak hours, and the horas punta, which are the peak hours. It really costs quite a bit different, doesn't it? Are you still with me, Ben?
when to fossil fuel. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I think what's
yeah. So the cost.
your internet connection is kind of going up and down a little bit, Ben. Gonna have to get you a decent internet provider there.
Okay. I'll have a look to see what's going on. Yesterday or the day before, didn't it? But today it just seems to be in and out. I'll have a look at that. But
It worked
yeah, so
absolutely fine. Yeah, yeah. Your internet connection's gone way down, Ben.
yeah,
Can you hear me?
the,
Yep.
um, the cost from the energy providers and
Okay. You've frozen there, Ben.
okay. Well, okay,
Yep.
back in now. This should be all working fine. Can you hear me okay now?
Yep. I hear you fine. Yep. That's good. That's better.
Yeah, the on peak and off peak. The problem with the reason for that is because obviously, like I said, it's a supply and demand. So when people operating, for instance, big business, big constrict, and make use of on like the off peak rates when we do need a lot of power to burn the fossil fuels, and that's where the
Yeah.
cost is involved.
Yeah. But Ben, is this a real thing, or are these markets just being manipulated? Because this seems to have just become a problem all of a sudden. It's like it wasn't a problem, and now it is a problem. And I don't know.
Yeah,
My,
but
my feeling is that these things should happen gradually.
yeah, they that was that was the whole plan with the green energy transition, but it's not happened like that because of this COVID or other reasons. Um, the problem is this demand that we
Yeah,
use the power in different ways.
yeah. Um, Mark Jones, glad you're joining us, Mark. It's
Amount
because
of
it's
power that
because you've got
we
solar
use
powered internet, Ben.
the green energy, not we have to use fossil. I'm not, you know, I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm,
Ben, what I'd like to do is to talk people through a little bit. You're coming and going a little bit, I'm afraid. I've got a sample bill, electricity bill here. Now, what I have to say is that this is from 2021, so the whole thing is a little bit different. But if we look in here at the
Okay.
different parts on your bill, okay, so we've got this. This is something that's not very well known to us, I think, in the UK, which is potentia contratada, and you actually decide how much power you want to come into your house, don't you? We can see that here. Okay, Ben's gone again. And then you've got the actual amount for the fuel that you use, the electricity you use, and the other bits are kind of standing charges and VAT. And you can actually see, for example, how much power you have contracted somewhere on your bill, something like this. Um, so, obviously, the more power you have contracted, the higher this bit here is going to be. And if you have more power contracted than you need, then you're going to be paying more than you need automatically. Um, this 3418, as I say, this was in April 2021. So, I think that number is the one that's been really going up a lot. I heard something blip there as if Ben was coming back, but I seem to have lost him. Um, so I think that the problem that we're facing is really to do with the cost of the energy. The standing charges are the standing charges. The amount you pay for the amount you come into your property is what it is. These are things that we can't do very much about. If you need 5 kilowatts, then you have to pay for 5 kilowatts. Um, I don't know where Ben has gone. We did a test here on I think about Tuesday, I think, and a Monday or Tuesday, and everything was working absolutely fine. And it must be because we're on peak hour or something. And Ben has
Is that better?
returned.
Yeah, I think that might work a bit better now. I've just changed the settings, so
Yeah,
um,
that looks great, Ben. If
perfect.
Mark Jones was saying that he thinks it's because you've got solar powered internet, and there was a
It
and there
could
was
be that. It could be that.
there was a cloud over your house. That's perfect now, Ben. But Ben,
Perfect.
I was just kind of looking at a sort of typical bill,
Yeah,
and saying, some of these concepts might be a little bit unusual for us from the UK. This thing about the potentia,
yeah.
uh, basically is like how wide open the tap is for you to get electricity in, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah. So looking at the size of your property and your peak usage at any moment in the house will determine your potentia.
Yeah,
So if you can manage your electricity better, not have everything on at the same time, sort of spread the cost throughout the peak hours, you can look to reduce your potentia and save some
yeah.
money, hopefully.
And that was I was just showing on this bill, for example, you can see how much is being contracted there. So there
Yeah.
is possibly a way to reduce that. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can look at what you're using, and that power there is only at one peak moment when it will,
yeah,
when it will cut you off for your usage. So if you can manage that electric better, speak to us, speak to some professionals. They can sort of help you out with spreading that load or use things on time as for
yeah.
instance.
But this is the bit here, Ben, isn't it? That it has been the bit that's been ranking up enormously. The energy
Yeah,
consumed,
yeah,
and
yeah. Your cost per unit. Yeah.
are we talking here about? I mean, I've heard the figure of 500% more expensive than it was previously.
Yeah, it's gone up. I'm not sure if it's gone up 500%, but it's definitely, we're at the peak of where we're going to be. I think we're going to look now to, hopefully in January. I think some of the providers' prices will be coming down a bit, and hopefully that's going to follow suit. I know everywhere you're seeing the prices are still going up, which they was, but I'm not sure now. Come January months, but I'm hoping that they're going to come down a bit and then following suit. from
Yeah.
there. But it just depends again, doesn't it, with what's going on in the world, to whether we can get the
Yeah.
supply that we need to fuel our lives.
Right. So in a sense, we need to just wait and see then
Definitely.
what is happening with all of this. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think it's too early, and there's a lot of people saying, throwing different things out there. But I think at the minute, I'd stick where you are with your energy provider, instead of signing a new contract that they're promising you they're going to save you a load of money. But at the minute, I don't really think that's possible. I think there's a lot of salesmen in the game, so
Yeah.
they're obviously looking to sell electric.
Yeah, well, I've spoken to a couple of providers who have said that with the prices being the way they are, there's not really very much they can do to to give you a discount on the
Yeah,
price. They obviously have to make money as well. So that the actual price per unit of electricity or kilowatt that you're using is not going to be, you think, vastly different from one company to another.
no, no, I don't, no, not at all. And I think any bonuses or benefits might be written out within inside the contract. Each contract's going to be different. You need looking at, but I think at the moment I'd stick where you are, and don't get sold into another 12-month contract if that's what you're looking to do, because I think there's a lot of panic buying, quick switch. Let's save a load of money, but they're all buying the electric. They're all selling electric. They're very
Yeah,
similar business plans. So
yeah.
not at the
And
minute.
to explain to people how this works more or less, Ben, there are kind of three parts to it. One is how much energy you contract for your house, right?
Yeah,
And you can alter that depending on what your needs are.
yeah,
The second bit is the distributor, and the
yeah.
distributor, I think you've said to me, is Endesa all over Spain. Is
No,
that
no, 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 not all over Spain. Every area has different. Is a DNO, distribution network operator. So
okay?
they own the cables, the transformers, and the distribution network in that area.
Right.
That then there's a fee for that, for distributing the electric from the power station direct into your plug socket.
So that really, where we are, I think Endesa is the sort of big guy,
Yeah,
isn't it? For
yeah,
who actually runs the cables and takes the power from the generating stations,
correct.
and
Yeah, yeah.
allow
That's they
house.
distribute and they transform it. So they own the substations and they own
Yeah,
the power cables,
yeah.
and
And
that's how.
and then there's a supplier, which is the third bit, isn't it?
Yeah, the supplier. So there's loads of suppliers, millions of suppliers probably, who all want to get you on their books to sell you electric. But I think it
Yeah,
really comes down to the level of service you're going to get from your energy provider, and more to do with the cost really, because I don't think over the next few months that there's going to be much changes in the costs.
right.
We might sell you so cheaper electric for that month or the next month, but moving forward, I can't see it.
Yeah. Can I just say to people, if they want to ask you any questions, we can do that directly here. So, but please feel free to ask questions directly to Ben.
Perfect.
Um, can you talk to us a little bit about this whole thing? And I think this is what people don't necessarily consider when they're thinking about changing their supplier, is the contract they're getting into. Because it's not just saying, well, you're not doing it now, I'm going to give it to you, but you have to sign a contract. And are there a lot of differences, Ben, between these different contracts?
They can be, yeah. I mean, I've not read all of the contracts, but definitely are. They do vary from one to the other. Um, for instance, a 12-month get out clause as such. So if you leave them within 12 months, you get a fine, or you lose your deposit maybe if they ask you for a deposit. Um, yeah, there's a few different things with inside a contract that I think is definitely you need to really look into, and that's why keep saying about make sure if you can get a contract in English, that would be good. If your customer service is in English, that's good. That's if you only speak English. If you speak Spanish,
Yeah, sure.
you're fine. But I'm just talking about the expat community in our area. I think these are what they've got to look out for really, not just type it into like the Money Saver platform to try and find you a cheaper quote. It's not yeah, I wouldn't do that at the minute. I think just hold on to where you are, wait 6 months or a few months, see what goes on within the market, and then really go from there.
Yeah. I've got a question from Natasha. Hi, Natasha. Hope you're well. For our area, who would be the best supplier? Oh, okay. She's had horrendous experience from a current supplier and is desperate to move on. Are you a brave enough man, Ben, to say?
Well, not at the moment. No, I don't. You know, I'm not here to recommend anyone. So at the moment, I wouldn't like to say that these are a better company than another company. But I do think that things are changing, and I just hang on because you don't know what new tariffs are going to be coming out. Like Endesa have offered a new tariff, possibly that may be coming out, a 24-hour tariff. That might be
Right,
a good bet. So I just at the minute I would hold on just for the moment, and maybe in the
right.
next couple of weeks I can give you a better update.
Yeah, okay. Another question from Mark. Hi, Mark. Bill and I never thought Bill and Ben. All we need is little weed, don't we? The flower pot men. You're too young to remember Bill and Ben, the flower pot men. Okay, is my air conditioner more economical than an oil-filled radiator or even a gas bottle?
You've got to look what power you're using, what kilowatts being used from the all-field radiator, the air conditioning unit, and what the air conditioning unit is. Um, Mark, send me a message and we can go through that. Not a problem. I just need some details really of the kilowatts of what what the all-field radiator uses, what the air conditioner uses, and look from there really.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in a conversation that we had earlier, Ben, you were saying the two biggest costs are heating and
Yeah,
cooling.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's never going to be cheap.
no,
That's the problem. You
at
know.
this time of year, obviously heating is the biggie, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because houses down here are really not uh, designed to keep warm. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. There's the houses around here, well, all over the coast, inland, and on the coast. I think they get hit hard as well with the weather. It's hot, baking hot, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, so they get battered about as well a lot. So, they lose a lot of insulation. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and Natasha has come back and said sorry for putting you on the spot about how
no
she.
problem at all. No problem at all. Let's just see what happens over the next few months, I think, and we'll go from there with who's the better energies provider for you. Your
Yeah,
energy provider might not suit somebody else because of their needs and what they can do. So everything needs to be more on a personal approach rather than one shoe fits all as such.
right. Okay. So listen. At the moment, what I'm hearing you say very clearly, Ben, is don't go changing because you really need to check out what kind of contract you're getting into.
Definitely, yeah,
And I know some people have gone down this route of paying a sort of like a fixed amount every month. Um, I guess with some companies, I guess that might work for some, but it's maybe not good for everyone. Is that fair to
well,
say?
yeah, I've heard as well within some of these contracts that are going around that it is a fixed fee, but the money you use that goes over that fixed fee is wanted in a lump sum at the end of the 12 months. Now, if
Right.
that's in
Okay.
the contract, you need to make sure that what you're signing and what you're agreeing, not just, it's so easy to do with the electrical signatures. They just come flying over. Oh, you sign that, put your code in, or sign it on with your finger, and that's that done. It's not,
Right.
there's not enough time spent actually reading the contract and finding what you're getting yourself into.
Right. Okay. So what can people do on a day-to-day basis, Ben, just to try to reduce their bills? Because there's some things we need to do, but
I think
what
it's all about managing the electric and your usage and your times that you're doing things. If you can work things with timers, the plug-in timers, as long as they're rated enough for the appliance that you're going to be plugging in, which most of them will be, but double check that.
right,
You can use things on the off peak. That's the only way, really. You're still going to want to use as much power. You're still going to want as many cups of tea, but it's having the cups of tea on the off peak rather than on the on peak. That's
or
basically.
using a flask.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, and it might be fine for some of us, for some of these things, but if you live in let's just say a block of apartments, the last thing you want is everybody running the washing machines at
Yeah,
midnight, or coming on at 3 o'clock in the morning, because these things rattle about and probably
definitely.
vibrate
But
the whole
it's
building, don't
I
they?
think it's a situation people are being forced into. They need to reduce these electricity bills. The energy suppliers know this because, like I said, people's bills are not, that some people's not being able to pay their bills. So the people are being forced into a situation where they need to understand how they use their consumption of their electric, how much power they're using, and can they reduce it, and if so, how and why.
Yeah. So timers is one possibility then, Ben.
Definitely, yeah,
So and if I just show it again, what the times are, um, for the different prices, we can see this here. So we've got between, midnight and 8 in the morning, and then 24 hours a day at the weekend. So you can do anything you like at the weekend. You can have as many cups of tea in the morning as you want. And this Orario Llano is like a kind of intermediate pricing, isn't it?
yeah. But
Yeah,
there's,
and
there are as well a few other tariffs going around. So, um, but for the majority, this is set in stone. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So, it's about looking at the times that you're using the sort of high energy consumption things. Um,
Yes, correct. Yeah.
so, but if one of the biggest things is our heating at this time of the year, there's no point in having your heating on between midnight and 8 in the morning, is there?
No, unless you go with the old sort of like an old storage heater system,
Yeah,
where you can, that was what it was designed for, wasn't it? Economy 7.
yeah,
Um, there's means and ways to work, but I think everything needs to be done on a personal level and look at what you're using, and the sizes of your rooms, maybe if you're heating, and just look at what technologies out there available now to work with your property.
yeah, yeah. So Ben, we don't want to cover everything about energy,
Yeah.
in one live stream, because there's too much out there, isn't there?
Well, there's loads. Yeah, they
Yeah.
can go on for days.
We want to talk about at some point about renewable energies and the pros and cons of having these things in your home.
Yeah.
We've got another question from Natasha. LED lights, do they save much energy? She's just changed hers, thinking that will help. Are LEDs
Definitely.
a lot cheaper? Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. So if you're doing your whole house or whole home, then yeah, definitely. You'll changing one, you might not notice a vast amount of savings. But if you're doing the whole house, whole property, looking to go over completely to LED, then yeah, you'll definitely save some money.
yeah.
Um,
I
yeah, it's a great idea.
I know when we got we have solar panels for hot water, which
Yeah,
my wife says she will love me forever for getting those put in. Uh, but actually, when we got that, the company that installed it gave us a huge box of LED lights,
yeah,
um, you
brilliant.
know, as a sort of thank you, and
Yeah,
we put them everywhere in the house. And I tell you, we've only changed, I don't know, in 5 years, we've maybe changed just a few, you know?
yeah. Oh, they're brilliant, especially if you buy good quality. Buy them once and buy good quality.
Yeah,
Try to stay away from the cheaper ones because you will have problems with them, and I know that for a fact. But yeah, if you buy some decent LED lamps, and put them in nice and tight, they're fantastic bits of kit.
yeah. Listen, we've got a question from Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Hope you're doing okay. He has sleep apnea, which means he uses a machine, which I guess is all night. And he's asking, are there? Oh, I can see it here, but I can't see it there. Wait a minute. Are there any companies that offer discounts for medical equipment? Have you heard of that, Ben?
No, but I'm interested now to find that out. That's something I'm definitely going to look into to see what's available for that. Could we send him my email address? Is that possible? Just so I could get some more
Sure.
information from him, if that's possible, and then go from there and find out what exactly if he's heard of anything like this before, and and then I can look into it and find the best solution really, and try and point him in the right direction to the right company.
Yeah, sure. If you tell me what your email is, Ben, I'll get it out there.
Yeah, it's just ben@litelectricians.com.
Ben at litelectricians.com.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay. Let me just see if I can do that. Um, okay. Does that look right?
That's correct. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be great if you could send me some details over. I can have a look and stay in contact with them and try and find a solution.
sure. Um, so it's a possibility, but we don't know what.
There's loads of grants, like different things that are available, just depending on the situation. So something I have to go back. We've got a legal team that works with us. They might be able to point us in the right direction a bit better. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's find out the answer and see what we can do.
But I guess as well that for a situation like Kevin's describing, this is going to be used really in the off-peak hours, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
If it's a machine that helps with sleep apnea, it's going to be already in the off-peak hours. So yeah, but that would be interesting. So
be interesting because there are for low earners, you can get there's rates and grants that we can get to reduce your electricity bill. So
yeah.
it is a possibility, but I need to find out.
Right. Okay. So Ben, we've got a lot to talk about with renewable energies, and there are
Yeah,
companies that offer 100% renewable as well. But obviously, their costs are just the same, or appear to be pretty much
yeah.
the same as well. And also, something that people have asked about is, well, one thing is insulation, and Spanish homes in general are absolutely awful for insulation, aren't they? Um,
Some are, yeah. I mean, yeah, depending on where you are, you see, that's what I mean by some places are really open to the elements, and the different seals get battered over the years with the weather.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, the more open to the elements, yes, definitely.
The other thing that we want to talk about in terms of the renewables, and we will pick this up in 2 weeks' time, are grants that are available. Because people
Yeah,
have asked about are the grants available, and you've issued a buyer beware thing
yeah,
about the
definitely, because your grant's filed at the end of the installation, so you
yeah.
pay for it all, you get it all installed, and then you apply for your grant. There's
Yeah.
problems with that,
Well, we're going to
so
come back. We're going to come back to that one then,
no problem.
because it is quite important. If people are planning to get a grant for it, and then there's something goes wrong at the last minute, they could end
Yeah.
up well out of pocket on it. So I think that's something we need to talk about as well.
Yeah, there's a lot to discuss about that, to be honest with you, about the way, that it does actually work, and just make sure people don't get caught out with it, really.
Yeah. So Ben, is there anything that you would like to say just to finish off today's live stream? Any advice you'd like to give?
Don't have solar paneled internet. No, no, not at the moment. No, I've just, like I said, my email address is on there. Some of the questions I'm going to need some figures for, so it's best to send them across to me so I can look at them, assess them, and come back to you with an answer. Any questions I can't answer, I'll always follow on in the next couple of weeks to
Okay.
find out.
Kevin is asking where you're based, Ben.
We're based on the Costa del Sol. My office is in Marbella, but we're up and down everywhere. So
Yeah.
anything I
Okay.
can help, just let us know.
So, well, that's great. Well, Ben, we're going to be keeping an eye on what's actually happening with the prices over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So, when we come back in a fortnight, you can let us know if the prices are in an upward turn or a
yeah,
downward turn, and as far as you can, because I know you don't have a crystal ball, and give us some predictions in what direction the whole thing is going.
yeah. Brilliant. Look forward to it.
Okay, Mr. Hayden, it's been
Fantastic,
a
Bill.
pleasure. And I'm glad the sun came out for your solar powered internet there, because it has just made such a difference. Okay,
Brilliant.
so 2 weeks today. I'm not even sure what date that is, because I don't tend to go ahead of sort of today and tomorrow. So 2 weeks today will be the
Second.
second of February. Uh,
Yeah,
we'll be back, and I think we're going to talk about well, renewables,
yeah.
and talk about what kind of options, because you told me about some things I didn't know about, and I think others probably won't either. And
There's loads of technology build up we can go through and talk about, and there's an option for everyone and everything. You know, any situation is something there definitely.
okay, Ben, thank you so much for joining me today. This last part has been absolutely perfect. We got a quick
Brilliant.
message there from Natasha, and she's saying, "Thanks so much, guys. Try and tune in next time. Keep warm." Yeah,
Will do. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Natasha.
but only turn your heating on before between midnight and 8 in the morning. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll be back in 2 weeks, the 2nd of February, and we're going to be talking about various options for renewable energy. Many thanks, everyone. Take care. As Natasha said, stay warm.